When the day begins, your thoughts are of the best intentions. How can you make this day the best it can be? You wonder, what will this day bring? Your family awaits you in the distance, coaxing you to run to them and join them in some early morning shenanigans. This is what families do. Off to the fields to dream of being an airplane pilot or an astronaut. Whatever you want to be, it's your imagination, and it can take you anywhere. Run to the lake to join everyone in a game of tag or hide and seek. Celebrate your victories, dancing around foolishly in celebration antics. Chase down your family at the beach, fling kites, feeling the ocean's breeze hit your face. Being a child is an amazing experience.
There are many children who have had this experience taken away from them by CPS. They will never feel the attachment to family the way they should. They are being robbed of life's precious experiences, and people are allowed.
As the sun sets slowly, and so many are anticipating the new day with their family, there are so many others laying there wishing that they could be with their own families. This torture needs to be stopped. These children will wake up alone and fight the world by themselves instead of surrounded by the family God gave them. We must abolish CPS and stop neglecting children who once enjoyed living with a family of their own. Studies show we are destroying these children, not helping.
That's me in the very beginning. Now I am a baby and getting zoomed from my mom to my birthday. I don't remember a lot about my younger life, but I remember it was fun and I felt so safe. My mom and dad always happy. I guess my mom's sister was mad that my dad was so great, so she called the police and said he hit my mom. We were all reading and they came. I heard my dad yelling, "There's no way!" My mom was crying loudly. Some lady took us away. The court said my parents abused and neglected us. They only loved us. The caseworker lied. I never saw my parents again. I'm still hoping one day they come. I am a victim of CPS and so are my parents. We need to find justice in all of this madness for all of us that are being abused. It's not fair. Every kid I know has a mom and dad. I know they miss me. I bet they fight every day for me to come home.
Don't get caught like us. Know your rights.
Alright everybody, it's Friday night, CPS Victims Hunting Justice, right here. We got, what do we got? We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. We got the chat room right there, as well as I'll see if, boom, get up there, give us some questions, answers, and things that you need to know about. I think it's back today, we got Herbert back. I think we got some special guests tonight. I'm not sure, but I think we do. Make sure that you share this out with some friends, some other people. But hell, let's put it out, right? It's weird. Let's put Vinny out here. Vinny,
What's up, Darren?
how you doing, buddy?
Doing. Yeah, we should really play that video I sent you earlier from our Republican Party,
Yeah, we can do that, buddy.
because I think, you know, that for the Mainers that are watching and the other people who are watching, they really need to like get on the ball with like Tiff said, with our senators and our Republicans, and
Hell yeah.
get them to see the sides of what is really going on.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Let me look it up. Let me pull it up here for you. You sent that to me on Messenger earlier, right?
I did. Yep.
All right. Let's see here. Okay. Vinny. Let's see, Vinny. Vinny, where are you, Vinny?
Should be there.
Only the side. Vinny. Leave. All right. Let's see here, Vinny. Hey, do I sound all right in this microphone?
Yeah, you sound fine.
All right, so I blew that other microphone up. The main House Republicans.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You got it, Vinny. Let's play it up.
Pay attention to what they say, guys, because this lady is speaking from the truth of what's going on here in Maine. And if it's going on here, it's going on elsewhere.
Here's her. There's her little volume button.
With the weekly Republican address. It's no secret that Maine has been failing to protect vulnerable children. More children with Office of Child and Family Services involvement have died over the past 4 years than in the previous 8 years
Do we hear her,
combined.
Vinny?
Democrats and Republicans in the legislatures have been holding hearings and demanding answers from the Mills administration for several years now. Last year, Child Welfare Ombudsman's report highlighted continued struggles with decision-making around child safety. And a report from the Government Oversight Committee outlined the stark reality faced by overwhelmed workers on the front lines of child protection. Fixing problems in our child welfare system is and should be an area where Democrats and Republicans in the legislature work together. Now it turns out that federal inspectors conducted and completed an audit 2 years ago. For 2 years, the Mills administration hid the fact from legislative committees working to fix the problem of child abuse and neglect. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Officer of Inspector General conducted an audit from 2021 and 2022. The audit in question was the first in the nation because Maine is the worst at protecting children. The audit found that Maine did not comply with at least one requirement for the immediate screening, risk and safety assessments, and investigations in 94% of cases. In more than 9 out of 10 abuse and neglect investigations, the Office of Child and Family Services failed to comply with best practices.
Look at that. Holy
Failure
smokes.
to comply with requirements places the children's health and safety at risk, states a report on the federal agency's findings just released this month. This shocking revelation is a serious breach of trust, accountability, and transparency. During the 2 years that the federal investigation was hidden from the public, leadership of both the Office of Child and Family Services and its parent agency, the Department of Health and Human Services, has changed.
It's coming out on TV.
The appalling lack of transparency by the Mills administration is not helpful and may in fact be harmful to children and families in need of assistance. Legislative Republicans are ready to work with our Democrat colleagues to put pressure on the Department of Health and Human Services to make serious cultural and structural changes that will help promote the safety of our most vulnerable children. This has been Assistant House Republican Leader Katrina Smith with a weekly Republican radio address.
All right. Well, I read it.
What about the children?
I didn't hear it, Vinny. I read it. What'd you think? What'd you think of that, Herbert?
I thought it was pretty good. I was listening to it when I came on.
Can I eat, please?
I feel that it's about time that our Republican Party is speaking up against them.
I think it's about time somebody, doesn't matter who the hell party they are, somebody needs to be speaking up against them, man, because this is asinine. Did you see what that statistic said? 9 out of 10 cases found that they were not using the best interest of the child. 9 out of 10 of the cases.
And that's this year as well.
So that means that 90% of the kids that are in the state of Maine custody are wrongfully in the state of Maine's custody, and they're certainly not treating them as the best of the. Wow, man, it's just
they're not only medically neglecting them, they're also not providing services to these children.
They shouldn't be providing services to these children. They're taking these children. These children are not being treated fairly. They're being created to be victims into something that they're not supposed to be victims of. They're I don't know. Like I have a hard time listening to a congressperson talk about this stuff or a representative because I don't know if they're going to tell the truth or not. Do they really care? Don't they? Because look at the numbers. These people sat in those offices and already watched these numbers go by. We knew about those reports. I've been blabbing about these reports for 2 years now, talking about how the Government Oversight Committee came out and responded to all of these claims that the people of the state of Maine have made, and Maine has been just ridiculously stealing children right out in front of people, but none of these people that have suits on and sitting in seats are doing a damn thing about it. So I have a hard time believing that all of a sudden they're going to come out and just going to give a shit. I don't know, man.
I think that stems from Mills, really, because Mills is covering up a lot of shit.
Well, she deserves to go to jail.
Yes, she does. Mills definitely needs to be in a jail cell where she belongs. She does not belong in the public with all of them.
No, she does not.
She has allowed this corruption to go on for years and years, and she was elected again to sit a second term. She doesn't deserve to be in that office chair.
No, she does not. She doesn't deserve to be in that house that's right there in the traffic circle. She doesn't deserve any of it. That woman is a waste of space. Absolute waste of space. And all of this is done at the foots of the family in the state of Maine, the one that they so much say that they protect and care for, and all of that bullshit that they lie about. How many Maine families have been destroyed because of this woman's policies and procedures, her choices that she's put in people in the office? How many in the whole United States has this happened?
I guarantee you, if all the states did an audit of CPS and DHS, they would find that they're not following through with their procedures either.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's where it should go anyway. That's where all this should start, is just a complete deep dive investigation into what's going on. But here's the question. We're going to do all of this stuff. We're going to have this deep dive into the investigation, all this stuff. What about the parents that are waiting and have been waiting? How much longer do we have to wait to see results from this, or to see some kind of an action? Because there comes a point in time where your kid's been gone for so long that you're like, man, am I doing bad by doing this and taking my kid back? It's been too long.
I've been in this for over a year now, and I have not seen either one of my two children. And to be frank, I think that it is way above reproach, and that these people are violating not only my constitutional rights, they're violating the statutes, they're violating Maine's constitution, and they're following a corrupt government that we have up here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they've allowed them to walk all over our Constitution rights, and they've allowed them to get away with what they've been doing. And I feel that if we're going to take them down all the way to the par, then before they take them down, they need to stop them from even working completely. Shut down their office.
Yeah, shut down. Listen, abolish CPS, man. Get rid of it. There's more damage coming out of this stuff than good.
Over 8 years, yeah. That's a long time, Brenda. 8 years. And I know some families out there that have been fighting for more than that. One of the cases I was listening to, right here on YouTube, they were 12 years in the hole and still fighting.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany's onto something about doing a video thing for the president once he's in office and sending it to him and letting our stories be heard to him a little bit. Don't go into full detail, just kind of what's happening in each state, and point it out to him. This is what's happening, this is what's going on, this is what we're seeing, and there's been nothing to show. How many more kids are we going to lose this year? There's still a girl right here in Maine that's 14 and she's still missing.
Yeah, how many children are missing in the state of Maine from foster care to adoption?
Tons.
Yeah. Tons is right. Too many. And this gets compounded every year after year after year after year after year. Let's see here.
And the worst part is our government. Our government's supposed to be backing we the people. They're not backing we the people. They're backing their own damn pocket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why is it that all these numbers are going up a steady 4% every year?
Right.
Like there's a problem there. I mean, Herbert, what are you seeing out there in Arizona? That's good.
I'm seeing that numbers are more or less starting to climb a little bit because we got more people coming in. So we have more people coming into the state, and so therefore they're talking more about child protective services. Whereas like a year or 2 years ago, no, there was not much going on. So I'm hearing people talking a little more about it, but that's because of a lot new people going into the states.
You're breaking up, Herbert.
Yeah, you're breaking up wicked, buddy. Let's see if we can adjust some earbuds.
I can hear you. You guys are breaking up. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me okay?
No, we can't. No, we cannot.
As you're talking, you're breaking up.
Yes, because your service is being disrupted.
I'll go off.
Yep.
Come back on.
Okay, sounds good, buddy. Feedback. 51 states specified the locus of responsibility for screening referrals. 49 states specified the locus of responsibility for receiving referrals. What is this here? Agency or office with responsibility for major CPS functions.
Knick-knack.
Pat it back, give the dog a bone. Alternative investigation. Primary responsibility.
Is knick-knack new or is that someone different?
I don't know. Knick-knack. I think he's new.
Yeah, I thought it was only Herbert breaking up, Brenda. That's what I thought too. I think he's back. Yeah, he's back. See if I can get him in here. There we go. Yeah. Can you hear us, Herbert?
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
I can hear you better now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
What were you
So I
saying?
was saying we have more and more people moving into more and more people are moving into the state of Arizona. So I'm hearing a little more on the news. Yes, CPS. They call it something else, DHS or something like. And I'm hearing a little more about it on the news. By the way, I sent you a video. Did you see it in your messenger,
Which one?
Darren? Just the
Sure. Let me
last one
see.
I sent you. I got that from. I got that one from Tammy. You're gonna get a kick out of that. I personally think that the parent was jerking the CPS personnel around.
Is that the Schenectady, New York caseworker disrespect the father?
Yes,
All right, let's take a look at
it's very clear, crystal clear, and I think that the father was jerking her around because they've been in communication with each other before. You figure it out when we watch it.
All right, well, let's watch it.
I got that from one of your viewers, Tammy. Tammy sent that to me.
Videos doing.
All right.
Bring that up on.
How can I help you guys today? Good afternoon, Mr. Ryan. Good afternoon. Do you guys mind please step off my porch, please?
Why am I not getting any volume?
All right.
Vinny,
I'm just recording to protect myself from you guys.
Okay.
And your name, please?
I'm not doing this one.
And your name?
I'm not doing this.
Do you mind state your name?
I am not doing this.
Doing what? I need to know your name, ma'am.
You know my name.
I can't remember. I have bad memory.
Oh, well, forget it.
Do you mind state your name, ma'am?
Don't do that stuff, man.
So you're refusing to give me your name?
Randy, stop this. Okay, just stop this crap.
I need to know your name, please.
I am here for a visit as ordered by the court. So
okay, I need to know who's coming. I'm sure I'm going to let you in my house.
Okay, you know who I am.
But you need to.
You know
I need
who
your name.
and I've been here before. I'm not playing this.
I have bad memory. I can't remember who you are.
Stop it. Okay.
Ma'am, are you going to state your name? I don't know you neither.
I'm a caseworker, Stephanie.
Stephanie, I appreciate that, Stephanie. And what's your name, ma'am? Refusing to give me your name, right?
Yeah, I'm refusing to give you my name.
All right.
I'm refusing.
Sure.
I am a caseworker with the Department of Social Services, the same person you called to confirm the appointment.
So you're refusing to give me your name?
I am refusing to give you your name because you're trying to play games that are not
I'm trying to play games
right now.
So you're laughing at me and telling me you're refusing to.
Yes, I am. I really am.
Oh, okay.
I really am. You could have that.
Wow. I guess the world needs to know how you guys are. All right.
Sure.
I have no choice than to let you in my house anyway.
You don't.
So you're refusing. You mind just hold up there, please? All right. I'm just gonna call you Sheila. Okay. Okay, Sheila. Just give me a second. Let me just open the door. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
You mind just step back a little bit because I don't want to be attacked.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. You can't make this crap up. You really can't. You can't make this up. Oh my God.
You think it's funny? I don't know why you're laughing at me, but all right. You're refusing to give me your name. Okay, Sheila and Stephanie. Y'all could come in. This is the home.
Okay, right now it is like I said.
No, you don't have to close it. Leave it open.
You have to leave it open because he wants to make sure that we.
Yep, I have camera up there too, so
that we don't attack him.
yeah, I don't want to be attacked by nobody.
As per the court orders, we just need to come in your home, do a safety check in your home, see your home. I've already seen your home, but we can do a quick run through your home and just do what we do. I'm supposed to talk to you about your case, let you know that you have not seen, you have not had any visits at the department, and those visits are still available to you. I know you've told me that you're not going to see your children supervised. It's your right, it's your prerogative. I just have to let you know that those visits are still available to you. This is from your daughter.
Thank you.
And this is a letter with just some of the programs that we have available because
I don't need any program. I
have
finished the
not-
class that the court ordered me to take. Court ordered me, hear me out. Court ordered me to take anger management and domestic violence class. I finished it and I give you the letter and you said you're not satisfied with that. So I'm not gonna bother and argue with you because you refuse to give me your name, and as I said, I have bad memory. And I asked you for your name, so
Okay.
you refuse to give me your name.
That's fine.
And Stephanie give me her name. At least I'm safe. I know who Stephanie is. So how about you just go ahead and do your walkthrough or whatever you're gonna have to do.
Follow you.
You're gonna follow me?
Yes.
All right. Follow me where?
Up to do the walkthrough.
All right. You want to do upstairs?
Let's start upstairs.
All right. Do you have to see upstairs?
We have to see the entire
All right,
house.
sure.
We have to see where
Let me just close this glass in. Be careful with the stairs.
I sure will. So how have you been doing?
That's the room.
Okay, is this where Maria will be sleeping?
Yeah, it's kind
What was the question?
Is this where Maria will be sleeping? Is this Maria's proposed room?
Said one.
unprofessional having their cups in their hand.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's not a room here.
I'm sorry?
There's not a room here.
In here, is this Axel's proposed room?
No, he's a baby. He don't have a room
He
yet.
doesn't have a proposed room?
This is guest room.
Okay, I'm just interested in seeing where the children will be sleeping. I don't have to see anybody
I'll show you
else's
where
room.
I'll show you where he'll be sleeping.
So,
That's where he'll be sleeping, in a crib, because that's where a baby's supposed to sleep.
okay.
This crib is there.
Okay, perfect. Cool. And in case the kids were to be returned to you or to visit your home,
Say that again? What were you
in the
saying?
event that the kids were to visit your home, return to you, do you have adequate food supply for them?
Yeah, sure.
Can I see them?
Could you guys both come together, please? That's the pantry.
Sorry.
Okay, awesome. Good. All righty. Well, do you have any questions for me?
But I don't know your name.
Okay.
I don't know how to address you, but let me open the door for you.
Okay. Sure. Well, thank you so much for allowing me
Thank
into your home.
No
You
problem.
have a wonderful day.
As I ask you over the phone,
Darren's doing something over there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Trying to get the volume in. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm sorry. Shit. I'm sorry. My bad.
It was over anyways. I was at the end of it.
Okay, good. All right. Well, what? I couldn't hear it. So what was it talking about?
He was a smartass a couple times. I do believe that lady did tell him her name on the phone, but that doesn't mean that.
Well, she's been there. She's been to the house before too, Vinny.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if he really had a memory problem, then she needed to restate her name. But if he didn't, then that's a different story. But him showing her around the house and that he had food is adequate enough. And them looking around the house, they're taking notion of everything that's going on all throughout that house. They're looking at everything.
And he was recording.
I agree with you, but they've been there before. He's actually you didn't see the end because something got technically messed up. But at the end, he even mentioned when I spoke to you on the phone. They had phone calls and talked together on the phone. So he was just putting out his video, pretending like this is the first time, and it's obviously not the first time he's been in contact with them.
So to me, that just from the video, that sounds like he's just trying to get himself out there and into like a more of a broadcast kind of thing, So he had to make it look
Yes.
good to try to capture
Yes.
the audience, is what he did.
Yes. That's right. That's exactly how I felt it. But the unprofessionalness is when the women came up with those cups of drinks. I thought that was kind of unprofessional.
Yeah, yeah. Tammy said the same thing. She said it was unprofessional.
Yeah. So I thought I'd share that one because it was very clear video.
Yeah, they sure don't know how to be professional.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't.
And the other thing that you missed at the end was the police car that was in the street, parked along the curb. And the police car is his next door neighbor. So he wanted us, the audience, to point out the police car, which is his next door neighbor. But what does that got to do with him and CPS? Nothing.
Well, I mean, just the fact that there's a car there, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but that's all it was. Yeah, yeah. And that's all it was. It was just sitting there. There's nobody in it.
Right. That's the truth. What about anybody out in the audience tonight? You guys got any questions for us? Any answers? Anything you want answered? Any sort of anything?
Yeah, it was an audience thing, Tammy said. I agree with her. It was to capture the audience. Probably someone starting out new, probably pointing out what's going on in DHS their way, and they made up the video, and they fabricated the story a little bit, and yeah, you can't fabricate the story. You got to start from the beginning of when it all took place. Debbie, Brenda, what did you guys think about it? And whoever else is watching, I don't know who that knickknack was, but they disappeared.
Man, I lost my audio for some reason. This is awful. It sucks.
Darren's just having computer technical problems.
They need audience for this. Yes. Huh.
He should be coming in any second.
Who is? Is she coming in? Fowler's coming in?
Yeah, I just spoke to her. You saw my lips moving. I was just talking to her on the phone. And I told her, I sent her the new link. I said, yesterday's link didn't work. But today's link, I said, you should be able to get on.
Good. Well, hopefully we'll see her here in a minute. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to sneak out and I'm going to come back in and see if this fixes my problem. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, Darren.
I'll be right back.
All right.
So you'll be able to bring her in, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. I'll be able to bring her in. When I see her pop up. Well, I got same shit, different day. But I do have a final on my sanction hearing with the criminal case. The only thing I can say is that it's next month, so I can't really talk about it, but I can at least tell you guys that I have a hearing next month.
Okay. All right.
There she is.
I think you had. Okay.
Hello, Miss Tatiana.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you for your welcome. Greetings.
You're very welcome. How you been?
We don't see you, but we can hear you.
Thank you so much.
Did you put your video on? I mean, your visual thing on, or you don't have it on?
No, I didn't because I'm
Oh,
at a little bit of
okay.
a
No, I just
disadvantage. Yeah, sure, I didn't want to be
no, it's okay.
intrusive. Sure,
No, it's
and I
okay.
don't really.
I just didn't know. I didn't know.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know. I came in just now, so I didn't
So
hear.
there's a lot of people here.
Okay.
There's a
Greetings,
lot of people
everyone.
here that don't know who you are. There's a lot of new people here. So
Okay.
this is my cousin, Dr. Tammy Fowler, and she's
Okay.
the one that got me involved with the show from the beginning. And how she got me involved with the show because she's in the process of trying to get her granddaughter back up in the Philadelphia area. And she's been going through the court systems ever since. And it's a shame, but between her daughter and CPS, they're working against her from getting her granddaughter back. So she could tell you the rest of it from there.
Well, it would probably be a little better for me to get caught up as to what you guys were doing before. But thank you for giving me the spotlight. I don't know if I could start from a
Well,
place of
there's a lot of
knowing.
new people here since
Yeah.
you got me on the show. I just want everybody to know that this is the person that got me on the show. Okay, and see, a lot of people may not know you, so that's why I did an intro.
Yes. Well, thank you. Greetings to listeners and supporters near and far. I am a grieving grandmother. My infant granddaughter, who is now 2 years old, was taken from my arms October the 7th, 2022, by a social worker working for DHS in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as so named. This was pursuant to many, many efforts to simply take my infant granddaughter, who was then 5 months old, away from me, to deny what has remained to be my lawful legal custodianship over my granddaughter. I'm not simply a grandmother, but I was awarded custody by the courts. The courts in another jurisdiction denied that, seized the baby, and have kept her from public view for what is now about 800 days from October the 7th, 2022. So at present, I do not know if my infant granddaughter, who's now about 2, is dead or alive, but I was able to engage in a lot of litigation, which has not yielded a baby, or the court that is holding her has not yielded a lawful hearing for me on my custody. Meanwhile,
Tell him who has custody of that child, Fowler. Tell him who has custody.
I have the lawful court-awarded custody of my granddaughter, but the court now has taken her and they deny my custody and deny me a hearing on my custody. So the corporation has taken her, but it is unlawful. And am I answering your question?
So that's
Right.
kidnapping.
It is kidnapping, and the baby has been hidden from view. She has been denied family, all considerations of family placement, all considerations of sibling visits or visitation, all considerations of my custody, all considerations of her human rights, and according to every law or principle. And furthermore, sadly, I was able to subpoena the children's hospital records, and this is with the collaboration of several, what do you call those people, whistleblowers at different levels that have been involved with this. And I thank you to the whistleblowers. They know who they are. Some of them are in law enforcement, some of them are in the children's hospital system. That would be Children's Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. And I was able to receive for the public purview 800 pages of medical records showing a baby who's been burned to the face, head, neck, and shoulders, probably tortured. She is being starved. She's been denied food. She has 120 unresolved health complaints, and much more is contained in the medical record. So what's happened is, if you don't mind my shooting ahead to the summary, this is full-blown medical kidnapping. In the latent stages, my granddaughter is being held captive as a piece of meat for laboratory purposes. She's been kept from me. I've been criminalized. I've been threatened. I've been harmed. I've been essentially robbed of my resources, denigrated, and abused by the court that continues to hold her. And at this point, it is my theory that she has been damaged physically beyond recognition and being treated as a laboratory animal. And therefore, the stakeholders they cannot produce a living child, but they also may not be able to produce a corpse, which is what I am demanding. And again, I don't know that there is any relief in sight. Again, pardon me, I wasn't quite prepared to talk. But we are in the latent stages of medical kidnapping where I have numerous petitions that have all been denied by the court. At present, I have an adoption petition that it was supposed to be pending, but I don't know if that will be heard. I do have a strong basis to suspect that the court is intending to deny my adoption and to adopt my granddaughter out to these individuals whose identities are known, who are torturing her.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. I mean, that's obviously in the best interest of the child. Clearly, that's the best interest of the child standard, you know?
Darren, Ashley
how many people, Fowler, have helped you in your fight for this?
Well, I would say Darren, there would be Herbert, there would be some of the other grieving parents who are not here. There would be some of my close family members who have helped to the extent that you all could. And amongst the stakeholders, however, no one has ever had a conversation with me. No one. That would be throughout the DHS system, throughout the interveners and all of the other, no one of the 8 stakeholders, primarily 8 stakeholders and myriads of others, has ever had a single communication with me. And they certainly have not helped.
And that one caseworker even goes out and goes on podcasts, right?
She does. This individual, since you and I had spoken, is under suspicion. And there are allegations that associate her name, possibly, and her legacy with harms that have been done to other children. Recently, I have been told by certain parties not to invoke the names of the babies that were wrongfully placed by CPS with persons of known suspect character and handling of children, and they were killed. That would be baby Sulia Williams. I was told not to invoke her name. I invoke her name as an ancestress, age 2. And baby Hope Jones, age 3. I was told not to invoke her name. I shall invoke her name by the merciful God that we serve. They were killed. There was litigation that followed, and millions of dollars were exchanged off of their little backs. It benefited them no way, shape, or form. And now, in some ways, baby Carly, who's my granddaughter, I'm sure 100 times over would probably be better off relieved from the pain that she is in. And based on an 800-page medical record, she has never seen a day of relief from things like hoof and mouth disease, lead contamination, COVID, a venereal disease, sexual abuse, starvation. She cannot swallow. She cannot have solid foods. She is deprived of food and she is only allowed to eat 2% milk. Her growth is stunted. Her hearing and speech are delayed. Her walking is delayed. She had at one point pus so much in her eyes she could not open her eyes. She has night terrors when she pushes the foster mother away. She has heart palpitations. She has seizures. Treatment for burns, treatment for falls down the stairs, bruises, bites, and again there are 100 other injuries and health complaints that show no
But
promise
hold
of
on, hold
being
on.
resolved.
All of these complaints that are things that have happened after the fact, right? Since she's been taken from you, tell them why that she got removed from you.
My granddaughter got removed from me for two primary reasons. Number one has to do with my daughter. I am, pardon me, pardon me. Can you all hear me well enough?
Yep. Yep.
I am the court awarded custodial grandmother of three grandchildren. That would be a 23-year-old that I've raised since birth, a 13-year-old that I've virtually raised since birth, and now the baby age 2 is the subject of this discourse. The reason why I have been so custodially involved with my grandchildren is because my daughter lacks capacity to parent on three accounts. She has mental illnesses in the acute range, drug and alcohol problems in the acute range, and more compellingly, she has a profound belief that she can parent despite a long and very sordid history of arrests and conviction for child abuse and abuse against myself, and despite the fact that I have parented the children. And my daughter's most compelling mental disease is such that her children must be injured, harmed, subjected to another fight, flight, eviction, emergency, injury, and most compellingly of all, what better agency to leverage pain, suffering, sexual abuse, and family separation than Child Protective Services? So my daughter is the primary reason why the baby is gone, because my daughter wouldn't have no peace until my granddaughter was taken from me and put into Child Protective Services. And secondarily, there is a panel of people, including the social worker, the judge, the GAL, the city attorney, and all of the other stakeholders here who have been involved with the other children at one point or the other, and they are on mission to make sure that the whole strand of these children stay within their captivity. I hope am I making any lucid sense without?
No, you are. But what I want you to tell them is the day that they took your grandchild from you, what did they
Yes.
say the reasoning for taking your grandchild was when they took her from the hospital?
When they took her from the hospital, October the 7th, 2022, the claim was made that I was improperly feeding my granddaughter. A lot of things had led up to this false claim. On that day, I was ordered to produce her food. I was at the laboratory at the Children's Hospital at King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. The social worker showed up as I was exiting the lab with the baby. I was going to spend the whole day with her, with the dietitian, and so on. And I was, what would the word be? There was an accosted. To my shock, there was the social worker and her worker. I was ordered to produce my granddaughter's food. There was the baby infant formula and the solid food that had just been approved October the 3rd, 2022. I argued with the social worker that she's allowed to have this. She told me she wasn't. And at that point, I was ordered to surrender the baby. And out of utter terror, and I do mean absolute terror, because leading up to this, I had been threatened, I had been stalked, I had been abused, And I had been told on sometimes a daily basis that, quote, I am going to take that baby away from you and I'm going to find an excuse to take her.
There's
And
a little bit more.
It's much more severe than that, but in summary, for those who might wonder how it is that I just let the baby go, I didn't just let the baby go. But at that moment in time, about 9:30, October the 7th, 2022, I could only think that this individual is so desperate to snatch my daughter, this social worker, that the next thing I know, she will have the sheriff at my door and she will take my liberty. And if my liberty is gone, I have no powers to redeem my granddaughter. So the choice is one of those like Sophie's choice. Do I let her go to the executioner's block now, or do I go with her later on?
Mm-hmm. Hey, tell him what that food was, Fowler.
The food was less than 2 ounces of infant applesauce that was in an infant serving and infant formula that I mixed together to feed the baby. And I had pictures.
Which is right and correct. So
that's why they took her. That's why they took her granddaughter. Now, what the hell does that have to do with imminent danger? Have to do with being a bad parent? Have to do with anything of any sorts of anything?
it does not. They just wanted that baby.
They stole that kid. Period. Point blank. And this is what they get away with day in and day out, day in and day out. I have email after email after email after email of these things. This is what they're doing, and everybody just goes on their merry way every day and acts like life just continues on, and so it does in their lives. But it's not right that they're not paying attention to their brothers and sisters out there that are getting slaughtered by CPS. It's not right at all.
For the sake of your listeners, not only am I the custodial grandparent and I've been raising my own grandchildren for over 23 years, I have also fostered 11 other children, not through the DHS system, but just as a mom who cared about children. One of the young ladies is still in my life. She came to me when she's 15. When she was 15, she's now 40 years old. And 3 days prior to the medical kidnapping of my granddaughter by CUA number 5, this would be short, the acronym for Community Umbrella Agency number 5, 3300 Henry Avenue in Philadelphia, for those of you who are interested. And this very agency had certified me 3 days prior as a foster parent, which for those of you who are listeners who do not realize, when you become certified as a foster parent, at least in the Commonwealth, you go through a lot. You have to have your FBI clearances and fingerprinting. You have to have, of course, the child abuse clearance and the criminal abuse clearance and a lot of other things in order to be certified. And I was certified, which I think in the common mindset would pretty much establish that there is no way in the world that I could be capable of improper feeding of an infant.
Especially with all that training they probably put you through as well.
Well, they didn't put me through any training. Actually, I'm so glad. Thank you for mentioning that. But my practice as a doctor of biomedical anthropology has been to put these people through training. I have years of experience as a university professor teaching in the School of Social Administration at Temple University in collaboration with Drexel University, University of Pennsylvania at times, providing instruction and training for social workers, physicians, nurses, therapists, and counselors in the interest of diagnosing families based on their health needs and their cultural needs to avoid the pitfalls of medical kidnapping. Did you hear me?
Yep.
So a lot of these social workers that are not worthy of the title would have been my students. And if I, upon first contact with any of them, I would have flunked them. I wouldn't have passed these people. They would have passed my courses. So I myself have taught the courses on process recording, which in other words means the proper and truthful recordation of what families do and what they need. Yeah, I would have been their professor. How about that? Or how about conducting a proper home and community assessment so that you just don't come in and take people's children, but you consider the needs of the family and do
Yeah.
everything that you can to augment the needs of the family and use the resources to keep the children together. So that it was my practice to train these people.
Well, I mean, we know it's much easier for them to tear the family apart and use those funds for whatever they find fit. Because if you don't have people that are looking towards what those funds are being put down for, who's gonna look for them? Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know what to look for? You're not getting them. They separate your family. You're more concerned with what's going on with your family than what's going on with their funds. You know, so this is all the smoke and mirrors that they play with all of this stuff. You know, it's sickening.
That's a good question for Tammy, from Tammy. Herbert, have you gotten Dr. Fowler in touch with Tiffany?
You guess you didn't want to answer that.
Have I got one video? I hear.
I said Tammy asked you. Tammy asked you if you got her in touch with Tiffany yet.
No, I was just going to ask if Darren can give Dr. Fowler information about Tiffany.
You know I can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
This is not the same Tiffany. No, listen, Tammy. This is not the same Tiffany from Michigan. No, this is a different Tiffany.
A different
Actually,
Tiffany.
what state is? Yes, different Tiffany.
She's from Virginia.
She's from Virginia.
Okay, from Virginia. Okay,
Yeah,
I see.
not the other Tiffany months ago that you spoke to. No, that's not the same Tiffany.
Understood. Okay, very well then. Yes. Well, I will say this, and again, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm shocked that I'm here and I'm speaking. I was just going to tune in and listen. But one of the things that I will be reaching out for is that action step. Some of the dads here have circled around the cause of baby Carly. I'm pleased to announce that we did have a father's prayer breakfast in July, and it was extraordinarily powerful. Father showed up from so many places and inspired the cause of baby Carly. And they have drafted a command letter, which, Darren, thanks to you also in your coaching, I did file a writ of mandamus, and we won because it was filed. Doesn't matter how the gavel came down. But for those of you who are not familiar, in America, you have something called a writ system. Essentially, there are 5 writs, but there are really more. And a writ is a way of commanding a so-called public official to perform their ministerial duties when they have not performed their ministerial duties. And a writ acts in a sense as an action in physics. It acts to speed up a long, protracted court process where you've had so many delays and so many denials and so many continuances. And in our cases, you're seeing your children grow older and older and older without any sight of, without resolution or any conclusion in sight. So it acts to speed up that process. And at the same time, it acts to slow down or reverse the acceleration of a precipitous judgment that could cause you harm. So it can speed up and it can slow down at the same time, which sounds a little bit confusing unless you think about driving. When you're driving, you speed up and you slow down in order to reach your destination. So I filed a writ of mandamus in federal court here, asking the federal court to command the family court to give me a lawful hearing. Of course, who cares? The gavel, I think, eventually came down with a no. It doesn't matter. The mere fact that it was filed is a win because everything in this matter is in that mandamus. So the whole world can see it. It is Dr. Tanya Fowler versus City of Philadelphia, DHS, the judge, my daughter, the GAL, and the whole cast of stakeholders. In that mandamus, I include the pictures that are horrible pictures of my granddaughter with burns to the face, head, neck, and shoulders, her damage, lower region, pursuant to allegations of sexual abuse, and the entire fact pattern, including my sworn affidavit. And again, I want to credit Darren with coaching me, and also a person who's not here. I don't know if it's okay to mention her name, as to the writ. And the writ means we command. So you see, we won because it's there. Because now, if my granddaughter is to survive this treatment, if she reaches adulthood, or any of you, or any of our friends or supporters can go to this mandamus and you can see the fact pattern. You can see everything. I've been criticized. Why'd you put so much in there? Because I want to memorialize this for the world. And I want to memorialize these names for the world. These are people who work in a public capacity. They should be named. They should be recognized. So the fathers have gotten together and they put together a letter of command. We command. Mandamus means we command, which is to be issued to the city attorney and spread all around the entire world. With your leave, my dear, beautiful brothers and your listeners and supporters, I would like to have an invitation to come back when I'm a little bit more prepared and have one of the brothers read this command letter, which we want to launch. And I firmly believe that it is no longer any more lower court. Come on, lower court. Do you honestly think that family court is going to have the epiphany where they wake up tomorrow and they go, oh my God, let us follow a kernel of God's law or this lower straw man law and release this baby to her family by their own initiative? I would love to pray that into existence, but sometimes we have to pray meaningfully and reasonably. Can't pray for the Rock of Gibraltar to become the size of a pea. You could, but I think your prayer has to match with reasonable expectation. But I believe that the public exposure of this letter, the public dissemination of this letter, and just what would the word be? Just blowing it up will be the defining factor to find baby Carly and have her released, or, as I've said in my habeas corpus, give us a living child or produce a corpse.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Got to keep going. Got to keep fighting. That's all we can do, right?
Thank you. So if you guys would agree, if not now, then later, to invite me back again.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much. Even with one of the dads who can read the letter of command. And if you agree with it, which I think you will, if you could also agree to help us to disseminate it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to do one even better than that, Fowler. We do last thoughts on this show when we run at the end of the show. And I think we're just about at the end of the show here. So I wouldn't mind if you led us on the last thoughts.
My last thought is I am pleased, Darren, thanks to you, your perseverance, your story and your experience, and the late nights being an organizer with the Dads movement, Cousin Herbert, your perseverance, you've hung in there. You've had so much stability and so much stick-with-itness, if that's a word, it is now. I just praise you and I thank you for the energy and the love that you both bear in your hearts. To the other gentlemen and to all the other listeners and people who are with us in spirit but not with us right now, I just offer my thanks because it is you guys who've gotten me through this, and your love is emanating to baby Carly. If she's alive today, it's because of those invisible but power strands of love. And if I can, I would also like to thank all of the other fathers, those who have fathered and those who have not, and for all of the men who have been fathered and for those who have not, and for all the men who are not fathers, but who are willing to stand up and to help us to form a militia. The Almighty God tells us as men to form a militia, to stand up in your righteous divinity for your children and for your family. And even if you do not have loin seed children, all of the children are your children. I prevail upon your kindness and the strength of manhood to form a militia that the U.S. Constitution tells you to form, because in some intent it was also godly. And it is us who breathe the Spirit of the Most High into those letters. So I would like to pray, speak words of power and protection on you, Darren, Cousin Herbert, the other gentleman. I'm so sorry, I can't see your name. I beg your pardon. But all of our friends and supporters, and I'm so thankful for the men to stand up as dads. I firmly believe that the militia coming together and uniting your voices with me and with baby Carly will come home because of the dads. The women have cried out for thousands of years, and we've gotten where? Nowhere. But never before in this nation have we seen the militia of dads demanding, commanding the return of our children. I'm still with you, fathers, as your delegate, as you grieve, as you cry out, as you're in your pain, but also as you grow strength. Because in closing, if 6 dads had been with me on the morning of October the 7th, 2022, our Carly would still be here in my loving arms. But it's because we didn't have those dads around us. And that's in addition why I am also in this movement, and I stand as a delegate to the dads movement. I see myself as the person who's ready, willing, and able to go out there, speak to the legislators, speak to the press, and speak to any people of note and notoriety who can turn the dial on the evils of the institution that we call CPS. And with that, I yield and I offer my thanks to you all. Thank you.
Amen to that. Absolutely. All right, Herbert, you get to follow that one up.
Well, you know, my thing about being knowledgeable of CPS and knowing what they can do and what they should not be able to do, and to make yourselves well aware of that, and try to avoid becoming a target of CPS, because once you get in there, it's very hard to get out. Once you lose your kids, it's hard to get them back. So that's my last words.
Vinny.
My last words are this tonight. Don't forget tomorrow night at 7:30. We will be starting the Saturday show with me, Vinny, of course. And I'm gonna say the rest of you guys that I don't see tomorrow, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Do not let CPS in your door over the weekend unless they got a warrant.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna fly with Vinny's coattails. I'm gonna say, don't forget to watch Vinny tomorrow night at what time he said, and I want to thank Dr. Fowler for coming in, and she will definitely be back. And yes, everybody, I will get her in touch with Tiffany. So everybody, calm down about that. She'll get in touch with Tiffany, and we'll see what she can do for her. But other than that, keep CPS out of your house. Don't open that door. I'm the CPS Punisher. We are out of here.
Let's go. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country, and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams
Victims of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate. Then we liberate, praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying out of sheep. I only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheek. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition. No, I'm gonna start resisting, and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.